Sickening Sunday. It ain't sunny no more. I mean, it was a lovely day, but it's already late, right? I guess it's already reaching that time where we set the time back and it gets darker faster, right? So you can already see that summer officially is really coming to an end, even though it's been over, but not even with the sunlight. But I wanted to hop on top of it with individuals. He was the talk of the town, just going down the word of the curvy Herbie. Now, for those who are interested, I did drop 2 new videos on this channel if you guys want to scope them out. One relating to a question I was asked by one of my subscribers of how exactly, what are the distance between gangs within Los Angeles, right? And another one explaining why gang members tend to use the same common names over. If you guys want to scope that out. What's cracking like in Alex Jones, mom? What's good, my boy? What's cracking like in Jose? Peso was in Bust the rapper guy. But I thought he didn't have no gang ties though. I don't think he's not a gang member, no. Is he? I don't think so. Maybe he hangs around people, right? Or what gang does he claim? Because I've been told that he hangs around with several individuals from different neighborhoods, right? But I've never heard someone actually say that he's from somewhere. People are saying, "Oh, she is gang related." Serio? Oh, that he's gang related. That's funny. I never heard him even bring up the matter, like of claiming an actual neighborhood. Sorry for breaking down the energy, but I hate my. Nah, it's cool, bro. Why? Why do you hate your internship? They be full of bullshit drama. My little bug is definitely up in the building. Love you, baby. Pesos from Playboy. Now? Oh, gang member now. Awfully late to start gangbanging, but I guess. Is that the neighborhood he's always claimed, or has he claimed different hoods? No, but I thought he would hang around with people like from Florence and shit like that. I know they'd be fit. Or who knows? Or maybe people are just speculating. Maybe people are just putting those titles on him. There's a picture of him throwing up there. Strange. Maybe he's confused. That's crazy. Maybe he's just trying to fit in. Who knows? Yeah, I just find that kind of behavior strange. But it is what it is. What's cracking like a dashboard? What's good? I've been good chilling. Dodgers finally won. Yes, that's what I mean. I mean, the first game, people were overreacting. Like, oh, they got killed. They're not gonna. It's like, it's the World Series. They're bound to lose a game. It's rare that somebody gets swept. It happens, right? There's no need to panic off of one game. Like, people shouldn't celebrate that they won. You know, like I said, it's only one game. You know, anything could happen. But obviously, we're gonna root for the Dodgers. But we gotta, también can't act all confident like you know, if the other team is whack or some shit. Hella strict and perspective, but narcissistic leadership. But sometimes that's keeping me in moving back after measure. I feel you. I feel you. There's just some individuals that don't know how to teach, right? You have some teachers that are just very hard to work with. That goes with anything. With anything, you're gonna bump into individuals who are just difficult to work with, even those who are educated. Like I said, emotions is just one thing that people have a hard time containing. Just like you'll bump into some cops that are assholes and some that are cool. You'll bump into some doctors that are fucking assholes, and some that are cool. There's just some people out there whose fucking egos are just massive, right? They want to dominate every scenario they're in. They want to assert themselves, which is fucking strange, because if you're looking to get something across to somebody, right, like as in being a teacher or explaining something, right, why the fuck would you come dominant? Like, that's like the worst way to actually get your point across, because people are just going to shut you down. They're just not going to gel with you. And it's crazy that even educated people can't see that or can't make the connection. It's just trip. It's their lack of insight. Like, what? I'm not doing nothing wrong. Like, you really can't see how you're acting like an asshole, huh? It's awfully funny. By the way, I like both of your videos. Also the part about taggers and gangsters. I've had someone on here explain it a little differently on here. All right. Yeah, it's because people confuse the two when it's like the two are nothing alike. The only thing they have in common is the graffiti, and that's about it. But everything else is completely different. Why they do what they do, which is the most important part of everything. The motives. The other vato from gets Shoreline Mafia? They were doing a concert together or what? Oh, why? Okay. So they went to a concert up in Northern California. All right, and not that many people showed up then. Well, I mean, yeah, it is up north, so. Which is a trip, because from someone that's actually been to these Chicano like shows or whatever, like performances, whatever, it's rare that you have actually people that are there that are gang related. Most of the people that are there are not gang related at all. Ain't that a trip? Fun fact. I mean, there's some individuals that look like they're gang related, right? But then when you ask them where they're from, they don't bang. I know this because when I was young, that's what we would do. Right? We would just bang on everyone that was there. And to my surprise, almost nobody there gangbang. You will get maybe like one or two, right? But it was rare. Most people just like the Chicano style, and they were just there to chill. That's when I was like, wow, that's crazy. There's a lot of people that listen to Chicano rap that are just regular people that look like they wouldn't listen to Chicano rap or be a fan of it, which is I actually thought was a trip. Hey, but the fan base had to come from somewhere, right? Because hanging around with these individuals, clearly it wasn't the homies buying the CDs, because they weren't too much of fans of Chicano rap. Right? So the fan base had to come from somewhere. I always just thought it was from out of states, like different areas, like, Texas or Arizona or Washington or, or Seattle or Oregon or some shit like that. Someone told me in SoCal, the taggers are just a little homies of the, and by Southern gangs, and Southern gangs are hopping and recruiting in their videos, improving. No, there's a difference. You have taggers, tagging crews. Those are the ones that are completely different from. Those are not the little homies. They're off doing their own thing. They're not really hanging around with gangsters. Tag bangers, which are crews that want to be like gangster. Those are different from tagging crews. Tag bangers are the ones that normally they would hang around with homies, and they tend to be seen as the little homies. They kind of want to be gangster, but not really. It's kind of like they're battling within themselves that they should or shouldn't be. See, those are tag banger crews, and they don't see themselves like crews, like tagging crews, even they themselves could tell you, that's why they tend to normally write locals, right? Like their crew would be locals instead of a crew. crews write with a C or a K after their initials, right? Like if their crew is like CBS, they'll put a K after it or a C after it to let everyone know that they're a crew. And these other ones would tend to write LS to let everyone know they're locos. And those individuals are the ones that think or want to act like they're gangster. And they normally tend to end up getting into gangs. But they're not the same as taggers, They think just like homies, So there is a difference between that. Even their graffiti will always be like, their graffiti will look like gang graffiti. They normally are not like taggers that use all these different colors and they draw pictures and they make it look nice. They think just like homies do. Now you're probably wondering, like, well, why don't they just get into an established gang that's already there or whatever? It's because they want to start their own thing, right? But then they realize how hard it is and then they just give up and they just get into an established neighborhood. Do you like the rapper Quando Rondo? Have you heard? Yeah, I heard of his music. Yeah, I'm not too much of a fan of his music. His style's just a little way too off. He's a bigger name, but he's co-singer from the Shoreline. Sells tickets for a smaller. Okay, I feel you. So they use his fame. They kind of like they use his name to bring in an audience. Like, hey, we're associated with this guy. Come check us out. What about the rapper NBA Youngboy? I heard of NBA Youngboy's music. I'm not too much of a fan of his music either. It's a little bit different than my style. The vibe, there you go. The vibe is just different. Thoughts on the one woman getting a Drake tattoo on her forehead? Yeah, like, how much did you have to drink that day? Like, why would you do that? Why would you do that? I saw your latest video. You should have stopped by. Ramirez, whatever. Serio, huh? I know I had seen that video right before I was on my way to work. And I was like, well, since I'm on my way to work, let's stop by and film a little piece, even because I had a passive area either way, right? So that was just like I didn't have that video planned. It was just in the moment type of shit. What up, Cholo? I'm William. I'm Latin Kings. I'm William. I'm Latin Kings. Which are you? In affiliation? I'm a Southerner from Southern California. By the way, one of Lurk's best friends died. Yesterday, he was also a rapper. One of his names. His mother was caught on camera. He died while he was getting it. His tire checked? Fuck. Savage. He was a rapper too. What is she? Oh, what's cracking like it? Hey, go subscribe to Moneyville Media. My boy, they said that you got shot, you got stabbed, you got kidnapped, that fucking you were living in the Bahamas, you won the lottery, that you were signed to fucking Gold Toes. They're saying all kinds of stuff, bro. I was like, damn, in serio? Every day was a new story. I was like, damn, my boy's where? That you were working with Elon? That shit was crazy. That you were going to be in Hell in the Cell with Stone Cold? I don't know. That shit was crazy what they were saying. I know. He's going through a lot right now. Court cases, his friends dying. Crazy part is it. Hey, that is the life, though. That is the life. The life is going to come with that. Countless, problems after problems stacking up one after another. That's the way it is, Homies having court cases or having to be on the run, family problems, jefa and, arguing with the jefa and jefe, homies dying, hyena bitching at you. It's just like, and that's the life, though. That is the life. That is what's gonna happen. That I can guarantee you is gonna happen. It's not, oh, it's not gonna happen, or it might happen. No, it's 100 is gonna happen. That is what you should expect. That is what's to be expected. You won't get hurt, probably lose your life. I guarantee you, though, you might not lose your life. You probably will survive, right? But in that process, you're gonna end up getting hurt and maybe even come close to dying, right? But you're definitely gonna get hurt, though. That's a given. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. All right. But that's the shit that's to be expected. Not this fucking fantasy world of money and women and drugs and no. This right here is the real deal, Holyfield. All other fools that talk about that other shit never have lived a life, or they're fucking lying up their asses. Like, bro, you don't live a life if you're talking about that you get this and that. Well, have you ever been out there? Or like the fools that are like, nah, you're dry snitching, you're burning it out. Like, have you ever put in work a day in your life? If you put in work, my boy, the Huda knows who you is. They got you on file, my boy. They got everything about you already. They know who you is. If they don't know who you are, then guess what, my boy? You ain't putting no work. So trust me, you don't have nothing to worry about who does, coming after you, Mr. Clean Hands. Because if you're over here worried about shit, then that only shows me, this one never did shit in his life. Because that's something you shouldn't be worried about, because them motherfuckers already know where you at. They'll pull up and call you by your name that only your family knows. Like, how the fuck did these fools? They do their homework on your ass? People are funny. They're true. Yeah, but isn't projects? They're not government owned. The Estrada courts are projects. Yeah, I know that the Wyvern Woods are like apartments, right? But they're structured like projects, is what I'm saying. That's why people refer to them as the projects. I know that they're not projects, but they're constructed like projects. The only thing that separates them from not actually being projects is that they're not government owned. But if you look at how they're designed and how they are, they're exactly structured like the Estrada courts. The only thing is just that they're not government owned. Yeah, but I know that they're not like technically projects, right? In the street world, they're considered projects, but in the city terms, they're not. It's kind of like, like gangs that name their neighborhood after, like, they call themselves like street, but the street is actually an avenue, right? In the street world, in the gangster world, it's a street, but in the actual, like, by the city and by the actual terms, right, it's an avenue. Or like some cities aren't really cities, right? They're districts, but people refer to them as cities, but they're not cities, they're districts. In the street world, we refer to them as cities, but I know in the actual real sense of the thing, I know they're districts. But that's why we're talking about street terminology here. Just like, like we know that the gun isn't really a cannon, it's a gun, but we will still refer to it as a cannon in the street. Oh, we know the ghetto bird is really a helicopter, but right, we'll refer to it as the ghetto bird. Street lingo, street terminology. Let's see, Big Sean, Eminem, some of the best Detroit rappers. Oh, you forgot the best ones, though. The Insane Clown Posse. They're rappers, too. Oh, he was the headliner. Okay, okay. So he was the main course, the piece of resistance. Mr. Criminal talks kind of zesty. Serio? I thought he would just be making beats. What's cracking like in Derek? What's good, my boy? Uh, have you watched any cricket? No, but I'll be watching them today since today it was a break from the baseball game. I know I'm gonna watch some of the NFL games later, right? Catch up, right? But I consume a lot of sports, so that's not gonna be enough to hold me in. Actually, does good. He's been, but I think he does good because he's not actually gang affiliated. No, I think he's not. I don't think is he gang. I don't think he's gang affiliated. If you come out there and you just say that you're Hispanic, right? Like, ¿cómo se dice Mexican OT, the Mexican OT. I'm pretty sure the Mexican OT could come and perform in Los Angeles, in San Francisco, and Sacramento perfectly fine, right? He's Mexican, right? But the fact that he doesn't hold no like gang affiliation like that, right? He's able to fucking go wherever the fuck he wants, right? Um, but obviously, if you align yourself with somebody, then the chances of your ops rolling up in that area is going to be, I mean, you should at least expect it. You would be stupid not to, right? Because some individuals are going to try to feel some type of way, and look at you as some kind of prize piece. Oh, he's a Tiger C? Yeah, that's why I'm pretty sure. And since people could recognize that, I'm pretty sure that's why he's able to move around freely. Once you already start to pick like sides and colors and everything like that, then you're just gonna have a difficult time being able to grow and prosper in music. Mr. Criminal is weird to me. One day he's holy Christian, the next day he's the biggest baddest. I think he's having a conflict within himself right now. I think he's having a power struggle going on with his overall mental. He's trying to hold on to this because this is all he knows and who he feels like he has always been, right? But in the other sense, that's not how he feels no more, and he sees things differently, right? And I think maybe that conflict is why he's stuck in limbo. And considering his scenario, the fact that he told, right, doesn't help his overall situation. It's like he's having a hard time coming to terms with that. Because that is telling, though, However people want to slice it, whenever you tell the cops where to find somebody that they're looking for, that is telling. How hard is saying, I want a lawyer? Or I don't know. That's all you have to fucking say. Is that easy? But telling them where they can find the individual, that's telling, bro. You literally led to the where he was arrested at. Like, I wouldn't have gone to court and testified against you. What does that even fucking matter? If you would have never told them where they could find him, you wouldn't have to go to court and testify. All of that shit would be irrelevant, right? The only reason why you're able to make that comment now is because he got arrested. Why did he get arrested? Because you told them where they could find him, goofball. And I know how that scenario goes, like how he said it, right? How they raided his house, they had his kids, his wife out there in handcuffs. I get, because like I said, I have been stuck in that scenario before, right? Where they're gonna say they're gonna lock you up, they're gonna take you in for aiding and feuding a fugitive. You gonna do some time. They might take your kids. They're gonna say all this and that, but that's bullshit, though. They can't do that. You know what I mean? But he doesn't know no better. He never been in that predicament. That's why he doesn't know. So he fell for their tricks. Like, he wasn't trying to lose all of that. When he wasn't, they called his bluff, though. And like I said, bro, this is stuff been expected. Your record label is called the Crime Family. The Crime Family. And you're signing active participating gang members onto your label. What the fuck did you think was gonna happen? Of course police were gonna be involved. Of course drama was gonna come with it. You're the Crime Family, right? These individuals are committing crime, right? They go to your house a lot. What you think was gonna happen, bro? You know? Because if you weren't trying to be involved in that kind of activity, then you shouldn't have been signing these individuals and mingling around these individuals and shit like that. If you were really trying to go down a different path. That's like if your record label's called Murder Records and then you're shocked that you're being investigated or somebody in your cap is being investigated for murder. Like, what the fuck kind of shit is that, bro? So you're the Crime Family, but you guys weren't into crime? You want people committing crime? So you wanted people not to be committing crime in your record label that's called the Crime Family. Interesting strategy. Doesn't really make a whole lot of sense, but okay. I think it's making sense now. In Bizarre World. Yeah, the 5th. You know, it's that easy, bro. Like I said, when they were looking for the same thing happened to me at my household. They took all of us, everyone, my little brother's there, my grandma in handcuffs and everything. No, you're not getting shit. I don't know nothing. They can't make you talk, bro. They can't. I don't know shit. I don't know. Talk to my lawyer. That's it. It's that easy. After that, bro, it's that easy. That easy. You know, and everything else, all the threats that they had made, because trust me, they made a lot of threats, you know, they all fell off, you know, they all fell, they all got dismissed, thrown out, because they just try to intimidate you, bro. That shit costs money, bro. Now they gotta prove that. Is there your sources word against my? How do you know anybody was here? You know, who told you they were here? How do you know they're not lying? It's my word against their word. Now you got to prove that, and it's costing a lot of money to make that happen. And if it's not worth it for something that's not worth it, bro, they're not gonna do it. That's a lot of money being spent on shit that's gonna go nowhere. And the government's just not going to spend money. Like, you got to know the game. It's crazy that he's Mr. Criminal. His thing is Crime Family. You would think he would know the law. He would study it at least. You don't want to be out there breaking the law. You don't even know the law. You know what I mean? You know? That's some crazy shit. That's like if I want to play soccer, but I know nothing about the sport, and I'm not gonna take the time to learn the rules and all of that. I'm just gonna go out there. You know, how effective am I gonna be like that? Not much, right? You would think you would get to know the shit before you fucking do it. And because people be like, well, Diablo brought it upon himself. He's the one that was breaking the law. You know, why should that fall on Mr. Criminal's plate and everything? Because me, from living that, I can tell you, bro, that when everything was all gravy, this individual was indulging and loving it, bro, participating, had a big old smile, and was probably like, yeah, fuck that. You let that fool have it. That's right, my boy. Doing real things. That's right. Hey, don't trip. Hey, I'll get you a new pistol, my boy. It's all good, you know. He's indulging. He's vibing. You know, he's like, yeah, you know, he's fucking pumping him up. He's, you know, he's part of the fiasco. And then now he gets caught. And all of a sudden, oh, nah, man. I don't know why. Hey, bro, I have a family, too. Hey, you got to understand from my perspective. You know, I got my family. What was that all of that when you were fucking having them around with illegal guns and you pumping them up and you were plugging them with connections and all this and that? You were indulging in the behavior. But now, hey, I got my family. What about me? And then people sympathize with them. Hey, that's true though. That's true. Hey, because you weren't fucking there. You don't know his behavior, how he was before any of this shit hit the fans, bro. All these motherfucking suckers always play people dumb like that. Nah, they don't want to own up to their actions, their responsibility, their participation. Now I want to throw the blame somewhere else and people fucking sucker into that and give them some kind of sympathy. Fuck that. Own up to your fucking accountabilities, bro. Own up to your actions. Be a man. Take responsibility for what you decided to do. Don't try to blame other people. Goofballs. It's probably the people that tell and that's just them weaseling their way out of a situation. And that's just facts. All right, ladies and gentlemen. My lunch break is over. We got to get back to it. It was good job chopping it up with you guys, and we up.